This is Rummy's Corner. Good evening, boxing fans, and welcome to part 11 of 13 in the latest survey series, the 1990s. Here is the scoring system. 33 volunteers provided me with a chronological list of between 10 and 25 names, whom they believe represent the greatest pound-for-pound boxers who competed in the 1990s. Let's rock. Number 10, Prince Naseem Hamed. Hamed was a British boxer best known for his tremendous athleticism and devastating knockout power. Hamed won the WBO featherweight title in 1995, and over the next several years he briefly added the IBF belt and subsequently won the WBC belt. In total, he made 15 successful title defenses, including a couple that carried over into the following decade. Hamed appeared on 21 out of 33, including 4 votes inside the top 5. Number 9, James Lights Out Toney. Toney was an American boxer known for having an old-school style, where he was an exceptional counterpuncher with impeccable defense. Toney won the IBF middleweight title in 1991, and he made 6 defenses of that belt. In 1993, he won the IBF super middleweight title, making 3 defenses of that one. He would also go on to become cruiserweight champion the following decade. Toney landed on 25 of 33, including 9 votes inside the top 5. Number 8, Ricardo Lopez. Lopez was a Mexican boxer known as Finito, and he was a technical boxer-puncher hybrid who possessed excellent footwork and timing. Lopez won the WBC mini flyweight title in 1990, and he would briefly hold the WBO and WBA mini flyweight titles in the late 90s. Lopez defended his mini flyweight championship a grand total of 22 times. Lopez also won the IBF junior flyweight title in 1999, which he defended twice before his retirement the following decade. Lopez retired undefeated, the only blemish on his record being a draw he avenged. On that note, the records listed below are there as a point of reference according to the most recent information available on BoxRec. Lopez landed on 24 of 33, including 7 votes inside the top 5 and 1 first-place vote. Number 7, Lennox Lewis. Lewis was a British heavyweight sometimes referred to as the Lion. Lewis was a tremendous all-around talent with great ring smarts, a terrific jab, and a sledgehammer right hand. Lennox was awarded the WBC title in 1992, and he would later go on to regain the WBC belt, eventually adding both the WBA and IBF belts to become undisputed world heavyweight champion. Lewis also went on to become a 3-time heavyweight champion in the following decade. Lennox landed on 25 of 33 lists in the survey, and he received 10 votes inside the top 5. Number 6, Julio Cesar Chavez. Chavez was a Mexican boxer who utilized an intense pressure style, which included great infighting ability, a granite chin, and a great ability to throw downstairs. Chavez began the 90s as the WBC junior welterweight champion, and he became a unified and later a 2-time champion in the division during the mid-90s. Chavez also landed at number 6 in the 1980 survey. That marks Chavez as the 16th boxer to land inside the top 10 during multiple decades. Also worth noting, Chavez had over 100 victories, which to me, it's simply amazing that someone viewed as a top 10 talent as recently as the 1990s had such an astronomical number of victories. Chavez landed on 27 out of 33, including 10 votes inside the top 5. Number 5, Felix Tito Trinidad. Trinidad was a Puerto Rican boxer who utilized an aggressive boxer-puncher style that complemented his devastating power. Trinidad won the IBF welterweight title in 1993, and he defended that title 15 times, which included a WBC unification victory in his final fight at the weight in 1999. Trinidad would go on to win titles at both junior middleweight and middleweight the following decade. Trinidad landed on 30 out of 33 lists, which included 18 votes inside the top 5. Number 4. Evander Real Deal Holyfield. Holyfield was an American boxer best known for his warrior mentality, where he was extremely tough and durable with great all-around boxing ability. Holyfield won the undisputed World Heavyweight Championship in 1990, and during the 90s he became a 3-time heavyweight champion, and he would go on to become a 4-time heavyweight champion in the year 2000. Holyfield just missed the cut in the 1980 survey, where he had finished 11th, just over 100 points behind 10th place Aaron Pryor. Holyfield landed on 31 out of 33, with 16 votes inside the top 5 and 1 first place vote. Number 3. The Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya. De La Hoya was a Mexican-American boxer whose style can perhaps best be described as a blend of technical proficiency, power, and ring intelligence. During the 1990s, De La Hoya won titles at junior lightweight, junior welterweight, and welterweight, and he would go on to win titles at junior middleweight and middleweight in the following decade. De La Hoya was a unanimous choice here, receiving mention by all 33 volunteers in the survey. The Golden Boy received 25 votes inside the top 5, including 1 first place vote. Number 2. Pernell Whitaker, Sweet Pea. Whitaker was an American boxer known for being an extremely smooth operator. Sweet Pea had a sublime skill set that was largely predicated on his defensive mastery, sweet footwork, pinpoint precision with his punches, and exceptional ring intelligence. Whitaker began the decade as a unified lightweight champion, ultimately earning the undisputed lightweight crown in 1990. Throughout the 90s, Whitaker additionally won championships at junior welter, welterweight, and junior middleweight. Sweet Pea landed on a perfect 33 of 33, including 29 votes inside the top 5 and 6 first place votes. And finally, number 1, Roy Jones Jr. Jones was an American boxer sometimes referred to as Superman. Jones had an electrifying, unorthodox style that was built around his extraordinary speed, cat-like reflexes, and raw athleticism. Roy's one-of-a-kind style enabled him to become a dominant force throughout the 1990s boxing landscape. Roy won world championships at middleweight, super middle, and light heavyweight, and he would even go on to win a major world title at heavyweight early in the following decade. The lone blemish on his 90s ledger was a disqualification loss which he avenged by first-round knockout in an immediate rematch with Montel Griffin. Roy was as dominant in the survey as he was during the decade, appearing on a perfect 33, where all 33 participants listed Roy inside their top 5. Roy also led the survey with 24 first-place votes. Here is the final top 10 list from the 1990s. While I did not personally participate in this survey, or any of the surveys to date, I think the results here are damn good. Just missing the cut at number 11 was Terry Norris, who finished 235 points behind Prince Ahmed. Then we had Riddick Big Daddy Bowe. Number 13 was Bernard the Executioner Hopkins. And at number 14 we had Sugar Shane Mosley. Rounding out the top 15 was Orlando Canizales, but he finished with less than half the point total of Mosley, so there was a considerable gap between 14 and 15. One small thing that jumped out to me here was that all of the top 3 guys appeared unanimously on every list submitted, which is something that hasn't happened as often as you would think throughout the survey. This is just the 5th time it has worked out that way, and this being the 11th decade we have covered, still less than half of the decades to date have had that kind of unanimous consensus for the top 3. Previously, we saw this type of thing in the 1890s, the 1920s, the 1940s, and most recently in the 1970s. Roy Jones became the 16th time a boxer has averaged over 100 points per entry in any given decade, but he is just the 13th boxer to do so in the series, because 3 boxers each did so twice. That mighty trio consisting of the great Joe Louis, Sugar Ray Robinson, and Muhammad Ali. In the 80s version of the survey, Leonard missed the achievement by a measly 10 points. And here in the 90s, Sweet Pea fell just 40 points short of hitting that arbitrary achievement in the scoring. But all the same, I think those who have averaged over 100 points per volunteer, to me that represents a strong degree of consensus. And I say that as someone who has full faith in both the scoring system and, more importantly, the overall collective knowledge of those who volunteered to be a part of this ranking experiment. In this instance, Roy hitting the scoring achievement illustrates that his dominance within the decade puts him in what I view as a very exclusive group. Personally, this was perhaps the most enjoyable survey I've tabulated in the series. My inner nerd always gets excited when I do the final sorting in the spreadsheet, seeing the results appear right before my eyes. It's a bit of a magical moment as far as this sort of thing goes. But what made this decade even more enjoyable for me on a personal level was the simple fact that the 1990s was the first decade I experienced in its entirety as a boxing fan. I started watching boxing in the mid-80s, but having followed the sport throughout all of the 90s, I was itching to see the results here, and they did not disappoint. In my humble opinion, the results here very accurately reflect my memories from those experienced during a terrific decade for boxing. A very special thanks to the 33 volunteers who contributed to the 1990s edition of this boxing survey experiment. I really appreciate you all volunteering your time and knowledge, and for making the commitment. You all rock. Thank you very much. Once again, here is the final top 10 list from the 1990s edition of the survey. What do you think of the results here? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. And I do hope you continue along on the journey here when the results from the 2000s and 2010s drop, as we continue our journey toward the present. Almost there. Please stay tuned. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed and have a wonderful night. This is Rummy's Corner.